Welcome to Emerge with Purpose. My name is Garfield Harvey, and as always, I'm excited to be with you this week. Today, we're going to be talking about this three-letter word, the word yet. I know we had a Thanksgiving last week, so we took a pause from the series that we've been focusing on. But today, I want to get back and talking about this word yet. Now, you might be wondering how something this small, this word yet, three letters, can be so transformative to our lives. But adding yet to our thinking, it really shifts us from feeling stuck and feeling hopeless to now feeling more hopeful, from saying I can't to I'm on my way. That's the mindset it does for us. And so we all have things that we struggle with, whether it's our spiritual journey, relationships, the goals we're pursuing. But what if we really approach these areas with the mindset of, I'm just not there yet? And so we're going to explore how this small shift in thinking can really be the tool that opened the door to growth and perseverance and even a greater trust in God's timing. As always, I invite you to share this stream with someone. Let them know that Emerge with Purpose is on, and I'll be right back after this brief intro video. Well, welcome back to Emerge with Purpose. And today we're focusing on exploring the power of yet, that three-letter word yet, Y-E-T. So let's break down what it means with having this yet mindset. Now, when we say, I'm not good at this yet, we're acknowledging the powerful truths. Really two things. First is that there is a gap between where we are and where we want to be. So that's the first thing. There's a gap. Where we are, whichever way, where we are and where we want to be. And secondly, that this gap can be closed with time, with effort, and with God's help. So we're acknowledging both truths. One is that we're not there yet. There's this gap. And the other is that God can take us there with His help, right? And so in contrast, without yet, we often get stuck in a fixed mindset. We say things like, I'm not talented enough, or I'll never understand this. And those words, they create this, the wall between where we desire to be and even with our potential. And so having this yet mindset, on the other hand, it keeps us open to learning. It's a reminder that our abilities and understanding, it's not fixed. They can grow through time, and they can grow with some effort and with some persistence. There's this story in the Bible. It's a story about Moses. And Moses was called to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. They were in bondage. He had doubts. He had weaknesses. And there were a lot of things that wasn't quite there yet. So he had a lot of yet moments. I stutter. Why should I be the one to do this? There are all these different things, and it's the same in our personal lives. We feel that we're gifted, or we have this passion to do certain things, but we have this yet moment. But with each step of in Moses' life, God equipped him. He showed him that there's more to his story, that it's not where we are now, but it's trusting God for the journey ahead. And so the word yet is especially powerful in our spiritual lives. In the Bible, we see countless examples of people who experience setbacks. But they didn't let those yet moments define them. In James 1 and verse 4, and I've said this in the past in a different context, but this verse, it encourages us. It talks about perseverance. It says, let perseverance finish its work so that we may be mature and complete. And I like the way the verse ends. It doesn't say just being complete, but it talks about not lacking anything. So this verse tells us that growth is a process. It's one that requires patience and perseverance. And Jesus also reminds us of the importance of staying connected to God throughout our journey. In John 15, it says, I am the vine, you're the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit, I should say. And so sometimes we don't see the immediate results, but that doesn't mean that growth isn't happening. I'll just say it again. There are times we're working towards a goal. We don't see the immediate results, but understand that although we don't see the immediate results, growth is still happening. We don't see the root of the tree, but there are things happening underneath the ground as it receives the nutrients, the water, and the different things that's happening within the soil. All we know is that we see a leaf and something is happening. And the same is true for our lives. We're working towards a goal. We can't see the immediate results because we're working so hard and we're wondering, is this thing happening? Because I don't see the immediate results. But understand that growth is still happening. The presence of the word yet in our mindset is an expression of faith. It's trusting that while we might not see the full fruit of our efforts right now, God is still at work. Can you just say that with me, or even type it in the chat? God is still at work. And so one of the most practical ways to adopt a yet mindset is by changing the language that we use. Now, I get it. This might sound simple, but our words, they shape our thoughts, and our thoughts shape our actions. And when we face a challenge, we can intentionally choose to say, I don't understand this yet, or I'm not where I want to be yet. Just adding yet to our language, it shifts us from a sense of defeat to a sense of possibility. And so consider areas in your lives where you've been telling yourself, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Now try adding yet. Instead of I'm not close to God, say I'm not as close to God yet. So there are things in our lives where we're just not there yet, but we work at it, right? And the word yet, it keeps the door open to growth, to God's guidance, and to change in our personal life, the transformation that we need. It reminds us that while we may not be there now, we're on a journey. Just go ahead and just say that. I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey. Yes, we're on a journey. And God is with us every step of the way. And so embracing the power of yet requires perseverance. Growth often comes in stages, and each stage, it has its own challenges. And when we're in the middle of a difficult season, it's easy to feel like this, like we're not making progress. But remember, growth doesn't always look like an upward climb. Sometimes it's slow, like a seed, right? A seed taking root before it sprouts. We plant the seed, but we don't see a leaf right away. We don't see a branch. We don't see this big thing right away. There is a process where the seed has to burst open to release its potential to set root, to be grounded. And as it's grounded, then we see this upward climb. We don't always see the upward climb in things that we're doing. And so perseverance allows us to push through those seasons of waiting and trust that God's timing is perfect. And remember what I said earlier in this verse in James 1:4, that perseverance completes its work so that we may be mature and complete. So perseverance doesn't mean that we won't experience frustration or even seasons of doubt. It means we keep going despite those feelings, knowing that each step we take, it moves us closer to God's purpose for our lives. So every not there yet moment, it builds our character, it shapes our faith, and it prepares us for what's next. And so we're not there yet. And then when we get there, we're saying, well, what's next? And so that's the mindset we're taking, is saying, I'm going to move forward, even though I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And when I get there, there's a mindset of, I'm not there yet. Now we can say, oh, now that I'm here, what's next? Because if we don't have this mindset, guess what happens? Every time we face challenges or every time we face an obstacle, we're going to feel like we can't make it because we haven't built enough character or allow this not there yet to shape our faith. But if we have this mindset that I'm not there yet, then what it does for us is that once we get to a place of comfort, then we can say, hey, what's next? Because I just went through this not there yet moment, and now I'm keep building this character. And so let's make this practical. I want you to really identify one area of your life where you feel stuck. One area. It doesn't matter about the why you're stuck or the challenge that I know. I just want you to identify that area, whatever it is. An area where you've been telling yourself, I can't, or I'm not good at this, or it might be something in your spiritual journey or a relationship or a goal you've been working towards. Once you've identified it, challenge yourself to add yet to your thoughts and language. Let's say you're working on developing a stronger prayer life, but feel like you're struggling. Instead of saying, I'm not consistent in prayer, you could say, I'm not consistent in prayer yet. I'm not quite where I'd like to be. Or maybe you're learning a new skill maybe at work. You're working towards a promotion and it feels overwhelming. And instead of saying, oh, I'll never get this, or you could say, well, I haven't mastered this yet, because it's a new skill that you're learning. So by adding yet, you're giving yourself permission to be in process. Understood what I'm saying? You're saying, you're putting yourself in the queue, so to speak, because you're not there yet. You're putting yourself in this process to learn and to grow. It's a reminder that you're on a journey and each step you take, it matters. So today you're working on something, you're like, oh, I'm going to give up. No, I'm going to put myself in queue in this process, to knowing that I'm on this journey. And finally, let's remember to invite God into your yet moments. Because in our culture, we often encourage to handle things on our own, but a true growth happens when we rely on God's strength. I'm going to get there. We have to rely on God's strength. Philippians 1:6 says, he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. And so God is invested in your growth. Not only are the people around you, or your friends, your families, yes, they're invested in your well-being. At least I hope so. But understand that God is He's invested in your growth. He's invested in your future. He doesn't expect you to have it all together right now. He's committed to walking with you through every step, every setback, and every moment of victory. So when we feel stuck or frustrated, we can pray, God, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I trust that you are guiding me. Help me to keep growing, to keep learning, and to stay patient in the process. Because understand this, that God is faithful and He promises to complete the work He has started in us. I'd like to pray before I do some final thoughts. So Father, I just thank you for your love, your grace, your peace. Help us to realize that this three-letter word, yet, it is powerful enough to change our lives. And whatever it is that we're working through, whether it's in our spiritual lives or just something in our natural, our social lives, help us to realize that this one word, this word yet, can allow us to really put ourselves in this process of learning and growing, and that you're with us. So help us to grow in you even more. We just give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen. Listen, I want to encourage you to hold on to the power of yet. Whether it's in your faith, your personal goals, or even your relationships, remember that yet, it keeps the door open. It invites us to grow and to persevere and understand that God's timing in our lives, right? And so it reminds us that we're not defined by where we are right now, but by where we're headed with God's guidance. As always, if you're ever in the Berkeley area, we meet every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., 2515 Hillegas Ave. You can always visit emergeberkeley.org to find out more about what we're doing in our church. One thing to be reminded of or to share with you is that the last 2 Sundays of December this month, December 22nd and December 29th, we're going to be having services at 10:30 a.m. instead of 1:30 p.m. because it's the holiday season. And so I want to give people a chance to come to church early and get a chance to go home and be with our family or friends, or just to have that day. So for those 2 Sundays, we'll be having services at 10:30 a.m., December 22nd, December 29th. But just stay tuned to our website, emergeberkeley.org. You can just go to our events page and you'll see all our upcoming events and the time of those events that we have coming up, but also to get plugged into the life of our church, whether it's in a Connect group or whether we're doing within the life of our church. There's some exciting things coming up. One of the things I shared last week as well is if you feel inclined, I know we're in this giving season, we just had a Giving Tuesday yesterday. There are ways in which you can partner with us. We have some initiatives that we're doing. And one of them is with our matching grant through Stratum. You can go to our giving page, emergeberkeley.org/give. You'll see a Stratum page there, and there's a matching grant. So whatever you give, they'll match dollar for dollar. And that's allowing us to do a lot more stuff in our church. We're launching a preschool, and it's going to help us with some staffing as well. And so we'd love for you to partner with what we're doing. So until next week, just want to thank you for joining me today for Emerge with Purpose. Next time, we're going to talk about how to cultivate an environment that supports growth, a place where we feel encouraged, challenged, and inspired. So until then, keep embracing the journey, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. So remember, you may not be where you want to be yet, but you're on that journey. So see you next week for another edition of Emerge with Purpose. God bless you.